Looky here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, men and women. What else we got? Y'all, all y'all, looky here. It's Tuesday in the Farm Bureau studio. Say it with me. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Excuse me, across the great state of Mississippi. Y'all hit me up today on the Country Pleasing text line. It's wide open to you, 885-ESPN, 601-885-ESPN. Call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. They've been doing it better, longer than anyone else. That's Davini. Here's the number to call me on the Davini phone, 995-1059, 601-995-1059. JB, how are you today on a Tuesday?
Man, I'm going with the home team.
Yeah, say it really loud. Like you have to back away. Roger used to, when I first started doing this show, and like the first or second or so time that I came into the studio in Jackson to sit right in front of Roger.
Yeah.
He, you know how he was? Like he was so observant of everything. Like he picked up everything that happened around him. Right? He didn't miss anything. Mm-mm. And he had been listening to me down the line. So we'd done a lot of shows together before we actually met face to face.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so I came down there for the first time. Well, I had been, he's been hearing me for a month at that time go with the home team. Okay. Right. Well, then I'm in the studio doing it. And that's when he picked up that when I yelled go, I would move to the side. I'd get off axis on the microphone so that I'm not screaming directly into the mic. I'm getting away from it going, go!
Right.
And he goes,
because you're a trained professional.
That's exactly what he said.
Did he really?
He goes, man, I can tell. He says, you know what they call that mic technique. I can tell you've been in radio because you got good mic technique. You don't scream into the mic. He said, depending on the inflection of your voice, you move in and out, of the microphone. He picked up on that. So ever since then, I mean, you know how it is, stuff sticks in your head. Every time I lean away just to get
Roger.
Yeah, and I go, go! Or yell away from the mic, I think of him. I think Roger right now is doing a fist pump. Because I think because he would produce a lot of shows, it would drive him batty if the talker would get really loud into the mic and then get really soft. And he's constantly adjusting the volume,
Oh, when I was preaching and he would be there, he would sit on the back row, right? And every now and then you'd see him just kind of point to his mouth and use his thumb as an up sign.
How about that?
And he would say, get it in front of the mic.
Yeah.
So he was constantly trying to help us out.
Yeah, that's right. He's looking out for you. That's right. Mic Technique. There you go.
That'd be a great name. Hey, I'm Mike Technique.
Hey, I'm Mike Technique. Yeah. How about this? It's the first text we got on our show here as we start on this Tuesday. By the way, welcome in, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. A lot to get to today. You got news out of Auburn. It doesn't affect anything because the game's already canceled, but I'll give you that. Anyway, the first text we get is from Jason out in Flagstaff, and he was actually sending it to Brooks, I guess trying to get it in at the end of their show. It's a picture of a snow-covered mountain out there in Arizona. Yeah, he's had a lot of snow out there, which is really interesting.
How blue that sky is.
Look at that sky. That's a great photo. Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of Brooks, I got something I want to tell you about.
Yeah.
I get in here, I connect in the studio down there, and, it's during the gridiron with Chris and Beaver, and literally, when it goes connect, and it goes, and I can start to hear noise, the first thing I heard out of Chris Brooks's mouth, I wrote it down so I'd get it exactly right. These are the very first words I heard him say. Quote, I would have been a bald-headed version of Tom Cruise.
Yes, he did say that.
That's the first thing I heard him say. Imagine that. Nobody's talking. There's no noise in your head. You're in a zone. I'm moving in here. The next thing is I'm getting ready for the show, and I would have been a bald-headed version of Tom Cruise. And I'm like, what? Number one, what's the conversation here? What could have possibly driven this thing down that road? Number two, no, you wouldn't have. What does that even mean? regardless of the context. What does that even mean? I'd have been a bald-headed version of Tom Cruise. What in the...
I almost had to pull over. I was driving in from Live Oaks, and when he said that, I was actually right by the landfill when he said that.
And that smell was not the landfill. It was actually coming from your radio. That's how bad that take was. All right. I'd have been a bald-headed version of Tom Cruise. I have no clue what they were talking about. I turned it off. The other day, he said that when we start talking about his website and bragging on it, he turns it off because he doesn't like to hear it. And I don't believe him. I literally turn the sound off. Look, I got to concentrate. Or if I don't, I'll spend the next 20 minutes leading up to my show going, what are they doing? I can't do that. I got to concentrate. No, it's the first thing. And I will say, I actually got an actual real phone call from Chris Brooks yesterday.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was he wanting you to purchase something for the baseball team?
Well, no, not necessarily. No,
like a Boston Bud or something?
No, he wasn't selling anything. However, it wouldn't have surprised me because the phone call was so random. Chris has the weirdest phone habits. It seems.
He never calls me.
Well, that's the only call. That's the only like out of the blue phone call I think I've ever gotten from him.
Right.
And we were texting. I texted him a question about playoffs this week, and he said something. Let me check. And it's like as soon as he texted me the answer to my question, it was about games on Thursday night or something. As soon as he texted me the answer to my question, immediately the phone rang. So that's weird to begin with, is you text somebody the response and immediately then you call them. Who does that? Right? So I'm like, he must be butt dialing me. The only thing that would have made any sense is he butt dialed me. Well, it wasn't. I answered the phone. He's like, hey, and, shooting the bull. And then about 5 minutes into the conversation, I realized he didn't really call me for anything. There's really no purpose to it.
Well, that's a good phone call.
He just called me.
Yeah, that's a great phone call.
Yeah. Why? So just wasting time?
No, man. It's just investing time with each other.
Okay.
Good friends.
Yeah, I call that.
I mean, just think about it. I just called to say hello.
Well, some people call that shooting the bull. You know what they really mean? Shooting the bull, because that's kind of what it was. No, anyway, so.
You're sounding like Mr. Hand now.
Chris.
Well, since it's our time.
Yeah, right. Chris says, I would have been a bald-headed version of Tom Cruise. What in the world? What in the world? Jason in Flagstaff said, LOL, all those folks talking about being snipers, Delta Force, whatever. No clue how hard those classes are to even get in. Forget passing them. See, and I don't pretend to be able to do any of that, Jason. I don't know. Maybe it came from this. Let's see.
It was. They were talking about the military. It's National Marine Day. It's the Marine birthday today. So
right.
They were talking about if you could be in any branch of the service in the military in the United States, what would it be? And that's how Brooks came up with he would be a bald-headed Tom Cruise. And Beeve was going to be a Green Beret guy.
Uh-huh. And
then it got to the point where, Beeve was saying, I would have been in the NFL if my mom had signed the football waiver in 7th grade.
That's right. That's it.
So it kind of got a little embellishment.
I could throw a football.
There was one good call though that I will say. I think it was. I don't know if it was a call or text, but somebody said they wanted to be go in the Coast Guard. And for all you people out there, if you got sons or daughters that are thinking about military, Coast Guard never leaves the United States area. Because
they're guarding the coast.
That's correct.
Makes a lot of sense.
So if your kids,
there you go.
If they ever reinstitute the draft, I always told my kids if they ever reinstituted the draft, you guys were going to sign up and go to Coast Guard.
Coast Guard. There you go. You got it figured out. Sounds like to me. Well, okay, I get it. Yeah, today is United States Marine Corps birthday. Okay, got it. So that's what led to it.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
You know what today also is? Today is the day that a very famous show made its debut on PBS in 1969. Yep. Sing along.
Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my
Sesame Street made its debut on public television on this day, November 11th, 1969. Hand up, been watching it my whole life, Big Bird, all that. I'm not sure when I sort of stopped watching it, probably around, 12, 13. You know what I remember about Sesame Street the most, JB?
Big Bird?
Well, yeah, Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch and Bert and Ernie and all the characters and stuff.
Cookie.
I was out, Cookie Monster. I was out on Sesame Street before the annoying little red dude came along. What's his name? The little red character that's so annoying. Elmo. I was long gone before Elmo came along and just annoyed the you-know-what out of everybody.
That was about the time my kids were being born. They love Elmo.
So they love Elmo. I was out before that, but they Sesame Street made its debut today. How about this? I didn't even know this nugget here. On this day in 1980, CBS News anchor Dan Rather claimed that he had been kidnapped in a cab, and it turned out that Rather had refused to pay the cab fare. Do you remember that?
I do. That was my senior year in high school.
And so he was lying then?
Yeah. There was a big dispute about it. I mean, and he had not been the anchor, very long, replacing one Walter Cronkite.
What is it with these major news anchors just like blatantly lying about stuff? Who was the guy, Brian, what's his name, who lied about getting shot at in a helicopter in a war zone?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some stuff for today. Chris on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast, says everybody wants to be a sniper or special operator until it's time to do sniper and operator type things. Facts. Yeah, I can certainly see that. Brooksy says, obviously I'd be Maverick. Is that what? Oh. So it had nothing to do with looks or...
He's basing everything off the movie, not what an actual Navy aviator does.
He'd be Maverick. That's right. Wearing aviator sunglasses, chewing gum, smacking around, being cocky. He
was talking about playing beach volleyball, in 100-degree weather in his blue jeans with his shirt off.
Do you know the kind of rash you'd go home with?
Lord have mercy.
Blue jeans on the beach in 100-degree weather?
That'd be worse than red bugs.
It wouldn't. After that, it wouldn't even be fun to ride on that motorcycle with the blonde. You'd be like, get off me. I'm chafed. See, Brooksy, reality is a lot different than those movies. Okay, listen, y'all. I don't want to do a COVID show. I'm not interested in doing a COVID show. It's reality to me. Hi to everybody in the live stream, by the way. If you're watching Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, hi to everybody there. Feel free to get your comments, questions in. I'm checking them out. David, Ricky, Danny, Joy, Mark, Sven, Joy. Hey to y'all. But I think an update is in order. Mississippi State goes in there yesterday. There's some COVID issues, but there's also a few other issues that take them underneath the threshold of the numbers of players you have to be able to play. So they're not going to play this week against Auburn. We knew that yesterday. We knew that game was canceled, kaput, not going to happen. But then today, here on Tuesday, you get the Gus Malzahn, head coach at Auburn, weekly press conference. They do theirs on Tuesday. And we get confirmation that Auburn, it wouldn't have mattered if State would have been able to play or not. Auburn would not either. Auburn football is pausing, according to Gus Malzahn, is pausing workouts due to 9 positive COVID tests among players and 3 positive tests among their staff. Okay, so State couldn't play. Simultaneously, Auburn can't play. So it's not just one or the other. It's both. We found out one yesterday. We find out another here today.
Well, maybe we're reaping the benefits of people being together for Halloween.
Yeah.
Been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, they were wondering what would happen. Everybody goes trick-or-treating, Well, I mean, and you just wonder about time of year, weather change and stuff, all that. Also, where it starts, why it would be worse here the last couple of weeks versus what it was in September, October. I think another theory could be that some of these places, people, maybe we were getting a little lax, and starting to let go of some protocols. I mean, that could factor in. Another way,
local college baseball team has over 20 out with the same thing. So
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Here's the other thing. Okay, this is another way to frame it up at Auburn. Auburn football hadn't had a positive test in the last 7 weeks. Now it's had 12 in the off week as positives are rising across the SEC. So they have 12 in 1 week and had not had one for 7 weeks, it says. And it's hard to figure out why. Why? Because they're not the only one. There are a lot of these across college sports. Kansas State, Chris Kleiman at Kansas State says that they are down upwards of 20 guys right now as the Wildcats deal with their latest COVID outbreak. All right. And I was looking, too, there were some headlines like I flipped over earlier today just trying to, see if there's anything popping up news-wise. I went over to ESPN.com. Look at the college football page. You see Bama LSU in jeopardy for this weekend after COVID tests at LSU. To give you an update on that, everybody, y'all remember Matt Moscona from ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans? He's been on this show. He did an interview this morning with WJOX in Birmingham, and he told them that they asked him, what's the percentage chance that the LSU and Alabama game actually gets played on Saturday? And Matt said 1%. He said the only reason I'm saying 1 is because I don't want to go with a total absolute here. So it doesn't sound like that one's going to happen. Notre Dame has mandated testing after fans stormed the field when they beat Clemson. Texas A&M halts activities after multiple positives. Arkansas coach Sam Pittman, yesterday we learned he had tested positive on Sunday. The subsequent follow-up test has come back positive as well, so he definitely will not coach this weekend against Florida if that game happens. You see where we are with all of this stuff? Yeah. I mean, it's up in the air. That's where we are. It's up in the air. We're seeing a lot of stuff, too, about high schools. I've noticed that. I kind of have a list of people that cover the MHSAA and different sports and things. I'm seeing a lot of stuff, even JB with basketball teams. My hometown of Tupelo, the boys and girls basketball teams are both out of commission for a little bit while they do the whole quarantine thing because of positive tests. There's a bunch of those happening around.
And just because, I think what gets blown out of proportion for me anyway is just because people test positive, if they're not having the symptoms or they're not sick, it's just something that everybody's going to have to get eventually. It seems that way, or get the vaccine. I don't know.
Well, you when you're like us, JB, we have no choice but to sort of lean on the experts, right? Medical experts and all. They understand a lot of the stuff that we don't. Yeah. I do want to ask the question. A lot of times I see it and I want to go, okay, how many coaches and players across all sports have been hospitalized? Okay,
because of COVID?
Yeah. How many players across all sports have, let's go, give me let's look at some different numbers. Give me the number for symptomatic people, like they're sneezing, coughing, can't breathe or something. Give me
no taste.
No taste, right? Yeah. What? Give me the asymptomatic versus symptomatic after testing positive. What is that? And then give me the number of people that are actually sent to hospitals or something along those lines in all the sports. Because we never hear any of that. I mean, literally, it's this big old chasm of a difference in the sports world versus real life. Because out here in the real world, I'm hearing about aunts and uncles and grandparents and coworkers and moms and dads who have been sick, who have felt bad, who've been symptomatic. We've obviously heard of deaths, which is, absolute worst case scenario, all those things. I hadn't heard of any of that in the sports world. None of it. Not one time have I heard of a report that says so-and-so player on so-and-so college football team tested positive and is in quarantine and is sick as a dog and can't breathe.
In ICU on a respirator.
Hadn't heard it.
No, you haven't.
Why not? That's my thing.
I would imagine, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express, and I'm not a doctor, but I would imagine it's like we've heard from, the beginning almost, is that this thing, it affects those that have, bad respiratory systems and have other issues that they're dealing with, whether it's diabetes or, some heart conditions or whatever.
Yeah.
And you think most of these guys that are playing in these sports are in the top shape of their lives.
Yeah, that's right. But the coaches aren't.
No, and that's probably why you're having all these, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you're getting positive tests among coaches. I haven't heard of one coach. Staff member, we hear, 3 staff members at Auburn. We hear that kind of stuff across all sports. Well, I hadn't heard of one coach who's been in the hospital.
Saban, no.
Well,
Nick Saban takes 3 tests.
Saban tests positive. Guess what? He wasn't positive. They can say he had it all he wanted to. He didn't have it.
Right.
And we're out here doing 8 hours of Zoom calls with him on SportsCenter. And guess what? He didn't have it. I can't wrap my head around any of this. All right. It's where we are. Jake, hang on. Coming to you next. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence or order it online or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling? You need to let Matt Anderson.
On 105.9 The Zone.
Well, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. According to the live stream, I'm an idiot. Or no, even better yet, I'm not just a regular idiot. I'm a COVID-idiot. All I did was ask the question. Basically, I'm like, why is there such a difference? We hadn't heard one story about people in athletics, not just players, but staff members, like having to go to the hospital. You know, anything like that. Maybe it's because they have the best. I'm just saying, why is there such a big difference? You know, we've got how many deaths because of COVID? Is that it? Because of COVID, how many deaths do we have in America? Well, what percentage of those are in sports? That's all I'm saying is I can't figure that out. Well, we got somebody in the live stream named Don who is calling everybody COVIDiots. He called Jimmy one. He said, sad to see that Matt Wyatt is a COVIDiot. Bye. I'm just asking a question. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm happy to admit when it comes to COVID, I'm an idiot. That's why, you know, sometimes in some places I'm wearing a mask. Well, because I'm told to, because I don't understand it. You know, okay. But if you tell me, Matt, explain how that little flimsy little made-in-China mask you're wearing that came in a bulk pack of 100 is going to keep the world's worst disease ever from either getting in or getting out. I can't explain that. If that makes me an idiot, I'm just one. A COVID-idiot. I'll take it. I can't figure any of it out. I also can't figure out.
Maybe that's better than just being a plain stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot. I also can't figure out why there are no severe cases in sports. Can't find them. Jake has been hanging on patiently on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment, Madison, and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. What's up, Jake?
Hey, guys. How's it going today?
Doing great. Thanks for calling.
Well, I don't think you're a COVID idiot. If you don't know, you don't know.
Just don't know.
I mean, you don't know. Maybe I can answer this question here. Why haven't they got, so many athletes has been, sent to the hospital? Because I think your co-host already said it. They got the best of the best of medical, equipment that they can catch it quickly. Mm-hmm. And that's why the coaches probably got the fever. They say, okay, they go to the next room and probably get a shot, or I don't know what they get, but they can, pretty much, catch it before it gets too severe. I'd put it that way.
Well, and the thing about that is, Jake, again, I have such a novice understanding of any of the medicines and treatments and all that kind of stuff. But like what you're talking about there, I'm like, yeah, okay. So for instance, Mike Leach said yesterday, their entire team gets tested 3 times a week. Everybody gets tested 3 times a week. Okay. Exactly. My thing is, well, if somebody tests positive, then what? Well, I mean, what are we doing? You send them home? I mean, you give them aspirin, you give them Tylenol? What? Because there is no vaccine. And we're told that the whole world's got to shut down because there isn't a treatment yet. We don't know how to treat it. You don't know the severity per case, and there is no vaccine. Well, to your point, if somebody does come down with a fever, then what? What are they doing? Because is it just catching it early for sports figures and athletes and coaches? Because we're not having deaths in the sports world from it. We're not.
Well, it's just like the polio situation. I think it's back in the 40s.
Yeah.
I think my grandmother said that, that huge situation. Do you think, in your opinion, that all this, we could call the recruiters, we could call the agents, say, hey, look, guys, let's put a halt on NFL, let's put a halt on college seniors, and give these guys one more year of eligibility.
Well, but
let's not send them on to the NFL yet.
Yeah.
Let's give these guys one more year for next year.
Okay, so what you're saying, Jake, is you're suggesting they ought to get together and just go, there's not going to be a draft, and we're going to pretend like this year didn't even happen. We're not even graduating players onto the NFL at all.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
That's your suggestion. I don't know. Why do you think that would help?
Well, I've been watching football since I was 9, 8, 7 years old. These guys are not ready. They're not ready to go to that next level because they haven't practiced long enough or got in condition in their senior year or their junior year to go on to this next level. When you get to the NFL, guys, you got to be on point, direct, ready to hit, ready to pop. Or you can get seriously injured. NFL is no joke.
Yep.
I don't think these guys are ready yet to go to the next level. What I saw against Clemson, the guy didn't play, the QB didn't play. This was serious because a guy in his condition should have bounced back from this stuff like a good week. But they said no, we're gonna keep him out another week. But now this guy, could have been kind of serious. That's why I say let's hold off, call the agent, call the recruiter, say hey, listen guys. Let's chalk this up. Say, hey, put an asterisk in front of this, all this stuff, and say, hey, NFL, could y'all wait till next year? Because it's not really not going to hurt anything, me personally, to wait. Because really, to be honest with you, nobody's really playing, And if you do play, you're not giving 100% of your team. That's why I say, this next in the champ thing is not going to be a real. It's not going to be real for me.
Yeah.
It's not going to be real because number one, you're not giving me 100% of yourself, of this team. And for you to go to this championship game, I want you 100%. I want your best players at this time. And that's why I say, can we just hold off and talk to the recruiters, talk to the NFL guys, say, hey, can we just hold off and get these guys one more year? One more full year, then we'll start recruiting next year.
Yeah, you know what they've done, Jake? There's, I think, a recognition, there we go, of the dynamic you're talking about. They haven't gone that far, and kind of in cahoots together said, well, we're not going to take drafted players or whatever out of college. But what they are doing this year is basically just handing the option totally over to the players. They've said, if you're a senior player and you want to come back and play next year, you can. This year is a free year of eligibility. Now, you take like an Errol Thompson, linebacker, Mississippi State. Does he go on to the NFL after this year? Or does he come back and play another year? Well, he's one who I think statistically has done everything you can do at linebacker in a college career. He also is in a position where he's getting banged up. Okay, so the NFL looks at him. It's kind of like running backs and linebackers. The NFL looks at you and goes, all right, how much wear and tear have you taken? And how young are you? Because we're not going to go out here and draft a guy who's basically his body is beat to what? He's used up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he may look at like they're looking at me like my clock has already started. I got to go now. So they are giving the option back to the player. There will be a lot of players. Let me give you an example of a guy who I think would be smart if he wants to play in the NFL. KJ Costello, quarterback. Tough start to this year in a new system, got hurt, maybe another concussion. It might behoove him to come back and play somewhere for another year before going on to the NFL. And they've given him the ability to do that if he wants to.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So that'll help.
Hey, appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the call, and I appreciate you hanging on for a pretty good little while. Lynn on the Davini phone. What's up, Lynn?
How about it, Matt?
Yo, what's up?
You don't need no one to come up to your defense, but I'm going to do it anyway. Whoever calls you an idiot because you said you don't know about the COVID, Maybe he's the idiot because he thinks he does know, and they don't nobody else in the world know.
Well, Lynn, it's one of those where, look, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. You get mad or you disagree and just say, well, you're an idiot. But it's really kind of a cheap way to argue with people. And in this situation, it's somebody who is kind of dug in on some stuff. And truthfully, if a person on the live stream goes, well, they disagree with me on this COVID deal, they are idiots, and so I'm not going to listen. Well, I'm kind of okay with that. If they don't want to listen, I'm okay.
Oh, ain't no doubt. But it grinded my gears for you because I was like, he could really go off on that guy, but Matt's probably too nice to say what he really thinks. But I'm gonna call him an idiot. I think that guy's an idiot for thinking he's so smart.
Some of the
you have a good man.
You too, Lynn. You touched on something now. Listen, this is not preaching at directly someone. This is preaching at all of us collectively, including myself. Okay, so if I point at you, I got a thumb pointing back at me somehow. How do I do that? Anyway, yeah. Look, sometimes, a lot of times, the dumbest thing we can do as people is really start to believe that we are smarter than others. I'm so smart. I'm just smarter than them. I got it figured out and they don't. Sometimes it's the dumbest take you can have. And then the dumbest thing I think we do a lot of times as people is we get on, whether it be social media or our website or whatever, and we just assume that other people care one iota about our political views, our political stance, what I think about the election, what I think about other people in regards to their political views. Here's what I think, and I think everybody cares, so I'm just going to splatter it out here on social media. Well, it's really kind of dumb and lacks some self-awareness, really, I think, sometimes, for us to think that other people care. Now, I've done it. We've done it. I've done it at times and then really regretted it. I think we just have to consider that. Sometimes we do something we don't care if they care. Just know. It ain't always the case.
We showed you the death trap Honda that almost killed two people.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck.
On 105.9 The Zone.
Little news here for you. Florida State redshirt sophomore wide receiver Isaiah Bolden has made a decision on his next school. He is leaving to go play for Coach Prime. After entering the NCAA transfer portal following the Seminole season opener in September, Bolden announced that he's headed to Jackson State. Coached by Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders made that announcement today. Picking up players. Hey, give Deion, Coach Prime, credit. He knows what it takes. You know what it takes? Not so much X's and O's. It takes a whole bunch of Jimmys and Joes. We were talking about experience at Mississippi State yesterday. There was another experience indicator that went out on Twitter today. Here it is from Brandon Langlois, the sports information director for football. All of Hail State football's touchdowns in last Saturday's win were accounted for by true freshmen. Will Rogers, 6-yard touchdown pass. Dylan Johnson, 4-yard touchdown run. And Jaquavius Marks, a 1-yard touchdown run. True freshman, true freshman, true freshman, true freshman trifecta. Say that 5 times fast. True freshman trifecta, I can't even say it once, let alone 5 times. All right, Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. Country Pleasing Sausage. I am thawing out, JB, a package of 3 cheese flavored. Mm-hmm.
What are those 3 cheeses? Is it a 3-cheese blend?
I'm on guess.
American cheddar and something else?
I'm on guess cheddar.
Cheddar.
Pepper jack.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know what's in there. I'll look at the package and tell you tomorrow. How about that?
That sounds good.
Nick says, my grandpa stormed Normandy and received a Bronze Star in the Battle of the Bulge. They don't make them like that anymore. That was definitely, as a generation, no doubt about it, Nick, the greatest generation, no question. I guess they kind of had to be. We probably ought to research what made them that way. But I will tell you this. I mean, there are lots of good folks walking around out there, okay? And just because it gets glazed over when we look at social media and stuff, do they make them like that anymore? Sure. Maybe not as widespread. Maybe it's not generational. But there's some real good folks out there doing the Lord's work and real guts in our military men and women now. It's true. That's what I think. In reality, and I know what you're saying, and I basically agree with what you're saying. Rebel Godfather said Pittman needs Saban's testing company. Man, I know. I didn't have it. Now, we were talking about Sesame Street debuted on this day in 1969. Chris texted the show and said Fraggle Rock was the best. And they were HBO. That was not a Sesame Street deal. That was an HBO deal. All right, let's see. Matt says you're right for the most part, but 2 area coaches died back earlier, one from Lafayette and one from TCPS. That's all I know, sports related. Now, you're right about that. Rob Barnes from TCPS, and he had a high school coach there, and I can't remember his name there at Lafayette, but I believe that's right. Both were complications of COVID. I think you're right. I think the context that we were talking about earlier is, primarily in the college world, college and pro. You just think, okay, does it have is there something there that would cause it to be this big, huge difference? We'll see if anybody comes up with that. But in terms of hospitalizations and tragic stories, you just haven't had them in college and pro sports. Somebody said Don is the typical idiot. Here's an unnamed texter says, quote, one after the other. Nick Fitzgerald followed Dak Prescott as Mississippi State quarterback and broke his ankle in the Egg Bowl. As Dallas Cowboys QB, Dak Prescott broke his ankle in the same fashion with his foot facing in wrong direction, one after the other. Unfortunate connection. What a text. Res Dog says maybe the guy calling you a COVID idiot is really just a sheep idiot. That's the thing about name calling. We just go back and forth all day long. We don't really get anywhere, I guess. At least just throwing up your hands and walking away is getting somewhere.
That's right.
Matt Daddy says there is no way to tell how many COVID deaths have occurred because of sports outbreaks. The athletes themselves are not vulnerable, but who have they exposed? I saw this. Somebody sent me the link earlier on Twitter. Dr. Alan Sills, Starkville, Mississippi native, Starkville High School graduate. His dad was the longtime band director at Mississippi State, but he's a doctor, and he is the chief medical officer for the NFL. Dr. Alan Sills had a quote. He says, "We have seen zero evidence of transmission player to player on the field, either during games or practices," which I think is an important and powerful statement. And it also confirms what other sports leagues have found around the world. We regularly communicate with, he mentions rugby, soccer leagues, Australian rules. He says to date, no one has documented a case of player-to-player transmission on the field. All right. Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. The man himself, Hawk, Chicken Hawk. First time this week. What's up, Chicken Hawk?
That's right, the Hawkster.
The Hawkster.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I've been getting some calls, man, from the Hawker Maniacs, Like I told Dr. Brother Brojo, I've been down since, the last Tuesday. I had to come home about 1. I crawled back to work Friday, but I feel pretty good now. If I could actually physically function and do it, I'd probably cut a cartwheel right now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Be careful.
I ain't going to cut no cartwheel because when I fell off the truck, here a couple months ago, trying to put my windshield wiper blade on, they told me not to be getting up no higher than my 18-wheeler than to sit in this air ride seat that I ride around with no air in it.
Okay.
Now, first thing to you, y'all best better be getting that checkbook out and writing my man a check up there in Tupelo. Because my man, I believe in his first year, y'all may need to go ahead and give my buddy a doggone extension up there after this first year. What do you think?
Well, he's done a good job. What they won? Until the Oxford game last week, they had won 5 in a row, I think. I think it was 5. But anyway, it got them in the playoffs, and they're hosting Warren Central up here this Friday night. Sure are.
Well, that's going to be a tough one. But you don't really know the secret to that success, do you?
I guess not.
Well, he's been calling me what you think about. I'm man, that the doggone Ty's my boy. Now you go up there and that Ty's been calling me and getting.
What does he ask for when he calls you?
Now you think I'm finna tell that because see I know the HQ is one of them Vicksburg girls over there.
I'm
and
just
you
saying
over there to
you're
Vicksburg
taking credit.
to Ma and Paul's.
You are taking credit for Tupelo's win streak. You're saying he calls you. Is he getting like X's and O's? Are you telling him what to do on offense, what to do on defense? You don't have to be specific.
Well, I give him some stuff to tell his linemen to do that I used to do.
Okay.
And you can get away with it if you disguise it good enough, and you're gonna make them. Let me tell you something. Here's what my football coach told me when I was playing defense. My old Coach Taylor, Jack Taylor. Everybody knows it.
Speaking of that, how about them Morton Chicken Hawks, man? How about them Morton Chicken Hawks?
What about them there, brother? Hey, they going to the top. Hey, Southern may not. But them doggone blue and gold, golden chicken toting home rascals over there at Morton, buddy, the head of Scott County. Hey, look, we may end up, we may end up with a second round of another golden chicken fight because the school to the east over there, hold on, Fart, you people at the school up the north, I'm going to tell y'all, and then ones over to the school to the east, Forest. Go buy Scottish Tire over there, way over there, and see Larry and Ronald, my buddies, too, while you do it. That was free. That didn't cost y'all nothing. But
hey, hold on, Chicken Hawk, real quick. I got to interrupt because we're about to go to a break, and I don't want to do. But I have to.
I didn't even get to my doctor part.
Well,
I didn't.
Well, it couldn't possibly be more interesting than everything else you've already told us. I was just going to say.
Oh, yes, it is too.
I was just going to say someone has texted us and said they want you to spell 18 Willa.
18 Willa?
Yeah, how do you spell that?
18 Willa.
Just the Willa
I don't know.
part.
Let me think on it. Hey, let me think on it, and give me at least a minute when I call back so I can tell you about the COVID because I'm like you. See, I have had pneumonia 14 times. Right? Mm-hmm. They got a vaccine for one strand. I've had that 4 times. Still caught the mess. Now they just give me in January because I had it 3 times last year. They ain't shut the country down. And look, most of the folks with COVID get pneumonia and pass away. A lot of folks die from pneumonia. And I've got the pneumococcal 13 now we're testing out 5 years early. And ain't nobody told me to wear no mask. And that's the virus. That's a virus.
Hey, Chicken Hawk, the music started. So call me back later. I'm going to get the homecoming queen in here in a little bit. So listen in, okay? Stay tuned in.
Okay, Bubba. Hey,
see. Chicken Hawk, out. Where did the first hour go?
Just went right by.
My head is spinning. All right. Homecoming queen.
You're a COVID-idiot.
I'm a COVID-idiot. That's it. According to the live stream, I'm a COVID-idiot. And then somebody said, well, he's a sheep idiot. More of your texts and a homecoming queen will make an appearance in hour 2. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour 2 of the show, off and running. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Your hometown heroes, available to you in all 82 counties across the state of Mississippi. Check them out, favrates.com. I'm Matt. JB is here, and now to start us off in hour 2. It's hour 2. Got them confused. The homecoming queen is here.
Hello.
HQ, what up?
Hello. Hey, JB.
What's happening?
You got a round of applause from
JB.
I think that's JB's way of telling me that I should have been prepared to hit the button.
There you go.
Where you get, and it didn't happen. And he was like, "Yeah."
Well, you can't remember everything.
No, I can't.
No, I know.
It's not. Let's rephrase that.
I feel
it's
like
not,
I know best.
It's not you can't remember everything. It's, Matt, you can't remember anything.
Well, no, you remember lots.
Yeah.
You just have a lot going. JB, he just has a lot going on constantly in his brain.
Oh, he does.
I can look at him and I think, yeah.
That's why a 5-minute phone call from Brooks just freaks him out, especially if it's about nothing.
He can't focus.
All right. So you know what I just figured out? I figured out how you guys can make the world a better place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I used to watch Regis, Kathy Lee all the time.
Yeah.
Just mainly because my wife was a huge fan.
I was a huge fan too.
All right. Well, I loved Regis,
I did
especially
too.
when he got just nutso.
I loved him too.
I'm losing my mind. So you guys could be the sports version and the lifestyle version of
Regis.
Kelly Ripa. No, Kelly Ripa has her husband Mark Consuelo on every now and then.
Kelly Ripa.
And they do his show, yeah.
Kelly Ripa sometimes rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. I'm okay with her sometimes, but sometimes she rubs me the wrong way. I have to admit it.
I can understand that, but I just think the concept of you guys hosting a show.
JB is on top of it.
On one of the mothership networks.
Come on with it. Come on.
It's Matt and the homecoming queen.
She's afraid of that proposition, though, because
I would love to produce that.
Well,
there you go.
Annabeth knows that she would wind up doing all the work. And and I don't know. We'd have to be careful. We'd have to clearly define roles on who's going to do what. No, let me just say about the show.
Yeah.
Regis and Kathy Lee, great show. Didn't mind it one bit.
I liked them.
As soon as what was the term
Kelly?
on that? Well, on that zombie cheerleader movie that Mary Liddy watched, they called her what?
On the Disney Channel.
And the zombie called the cheerleader what? Miss Perky
cheerleader, Perky cheerster, Perky. Oh, I can't think
Perky
of it.
Cheerstick. That's what she called
Perky
her.
Cheerstick.
Miss Blonde Perky Cheerstick.
Yeah.
That's almost
okay.
Bad as
When Miss
COVID.
Blonde Perky Cheerstick came on there with Regis, it's not that like I have some personal gripe with her at all. It's something about the behavior on that show could not stomach it.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand it.
Well, he was on a different level, I think. His professionalism. You agree, JB? He was he was just great. Yeah. And then she had the football player, Michael Strahan.
Strahan when he was on.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Honestly,
but I don't really watch it anymore.
But it's like a lot of things when it changes. When you get used to, you find something you like.
Right.
Okay. Well, the reason I watched Regis Kathy Lee is because you like Regis and Kathy Lee.
Yeah.
You find something you like, and then when that changes, you have a hard time because it's not what you like.
That's right.
It's different. It's like a Monday Night Football crew. You liked it. Okay, when it was Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf and Frank Gifford, Kathy Lee's husband, growing up. And when they start changing it, you can't handle the rest of it.
I like that Chris guy. What's his name? Isn't it Chris?
Oh, Chris Collinsworth. He's on the NBC Sunday night deal now with Al Michaels.
I agree with you guys 100%.
Like
and the reason it was just kind of fresh on my mind is because the TV in the pro shop yesterday, the remote quit working and it got stuck on ABC. So after Good Morning America was off, I was stuck watching And then Coach Ackerman comes in and he goes, "Man, you got it stuck on this mess."
Who's her partner? Is Ryan Seacrest now, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Mr. Radio.
Come on,
Rippers.
Matt, get into the.
Listen, I don't watch anything.
Well, I know, but
I swear,
I don't
JB,
watch it either. But I know he's the person.
Let me tell you what I watch. Live
I just
sports
think
number
y'all
one.
would be great.
Live sports number
That's
one.
a compliment. Thanks.
Number two, reruns of Coach. Okay, and we've learned that I bought every season of Coach on Amazon so that I can go back and watch the whole thing.
We're thrilled.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the thing is, we learned that there are episodes of Coach that are not necessarily kid appropriate.
Oh, I know.
That's just the sad fact of the matter. All right, so I watched that. I watched the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
Christmas movies. We got about 5 or 6 Christmas
movies.
We watch them all year, and that's it. I don't want to watch anything else.
Well, you do sports.
That's what I'm saying. Live sports.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching sports talk shows.
No.
So.
Well, that's okay. Okay, so y'all were talking about high school. Were y'all talking about the playoffs with what's his face?
Good try.
Playoffs.
Good try. She's trying to get us on sports.
Well, no,
good try.
No, she is.
Good try, Annie.
Well,
just hang on a minute.
What's the guy's name that called in while I was standing here? That
Chicken Hall.
Went on
Chicken
forever.
Hall.
Yeah.
Did you hear what she said, JB? Went on forever.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not being rude. He just said a lot.
He has long calls.
Yeah, it was a long call, and he was talking about the playoffs and Tupelo and. Okay, so here's my question for you. I thought about you today because I saw this. I don't know. I think it was on Facebook. I have a friend whose son plays high school football, and she commented on how people who've never played don't understand the significance of never playing and suiting up again for their high school because he's a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was interesting because you've talked about how special high school football was to you, and and it's it's about that time for some of these high school seniors with the playoffs.
Yeah, it is. Well, and what you got 1A, 5A, 6A starting their playoffs on Friday night. 2A, 3A, 4A already started. MAIS already started. So this week, every high school football player in action this week, every single solitary one of them.
That's on their mind, especially
if they
seniors.
Don't win, it's over.
Right.
That's it.
So that has to be kind of just a gut. I don't know. I've never played, so I have no idea. But I was going to ask you about it. What's that feel like?
Oh, it's awful. I remember. Okay, so we lost the last high school game I played in. It was a playoff game. We lost in Montgomery, playing at Crampton Bowl, there where they play a lot of games. They have a bowl game there and stuff. And they used to have the old blue-gray game there on Christmas Day. But anyway, I remember that one was over. The game's over. It finally hits you. Okay, we did lose. Season's over. I'll never put on a Prattville uniform again. I even had the perspective of you're talking about December, and I'm being recruited. I know I'm going to play somewhere most likely, barring a disaster. But even with that, I still didn't even want to take my uniform off.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
I
wore it.
I kept my helmet on. I wore my helmet all the way back to school. I was like, I can't quite handle the thought of taking this stuff off and not putting it back on.
Yeah.
But it sets in and you have to. And it's a tough deal. It really is. But it's part of, I was talking to my dad today. He was talking about the Hometown Heroes series videos, and he had watched the one from this past Friday. I posted it last night. It was at Enterprise Clark.
Right.
In Clark County, Enterprise High School.
High five, by the way. Great job.
Thank you.
I liked it too, JB. I thought it was good.
Wonderful. He's talented.
He's pretty good. Don't tell him.
And he mentioned, I've done this on pretty much all of them. He mentioned the final shot where I've got the drone up in the sky and it's kind of pulling back and away. And as it pulls away, that final shot, you see more and more of, there's just this little bitty, we think it's huge, 100-yard football field, but it's sort of sitting there with the lights on it and people down there playing and surrounding it, but they look like little bitty ants. And then there's just vast amount of space around it where it's just this one little lit piece of real estate that we're out there kind of doing our thing. And he said it just sort of reminded me he said it hit me. I almost kind of got choked up because it hit me that's sort of like life. We're down there kind of doing our thing, and it's one little bitty, teeny, tiny portion of God's creation, the existence of His creation.
Right.
We do our thing for a short period of time, and then it's over. It's just over.
Smart man, very smart man.
And you look at it and you go, yes, okay, well, that's a hard. Annabeth, when I said that, gave me this look. When it's over, she gave me this look.
It's really deep. We're getting deep here.
It's getting deep, but what it does is it highlights how important it is to cherish it and understand how special it is while it's going on.
So what would your advice be, especially to those seniors? Just because this was fresh on my mind, because I read the post and it made me want to cry. I mean, I thought, oh, these senior boys who won't play again, what's your advice? You've been there, you've moved on, and you've played more, but some of them may not play after high school.
And it's the hardest thing for them, too, because they don't have the perspective that we have.
Right.
The older, I mean, I'm old enough now, I'm more than halfway through, probably, this whole thing. Okay? Let's put it that way.
Thanks for filling me in.
All right. Well, when you look, our perspective is how short a period of time 4 years of high school is.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, that's nothing, but to them, that's their whole life. I mean, 1 year seems like an eternity to a kid in high school.
Yeah, you're right.
And so it's, I think, hard to impress upon them how important it is. Also, though, it can work the other way. The key is that saying of be here, comma, now. Be here now.
Live in the moment.
Live in the moment. Be where your feet are. That whole dynamic.
Bloom where you're planted.
But that's it. You're not looking. Don't waste this high school year looking ahead and saying, where am I going to go to college?
Right.
Worrying about where I'm going to play. What are my offers? Because I'm telling you, that stuff will take care of itself every single time. It takes care of itself, especially you put your life in the Lord's hands. He's going to open the door somewhere when it needs to be open. So you soak it up every minute, every practice, every word from the coach, every play, and coaches are constantly trying to beat that into their players because it's true. That's the way you have to look at it. If you don't, you'll regret it.
Right.
Frankly, you will. If you don't do that, you'll look back on it and you'll regret it. And that's why I hate this constant stuff that we get from media, big media, small media, writers, all internet land, recruiting sites. They constantly are like, we're looking at this high school game, and here's a player who can play at the next level. And this guy's got this many offers. And then, well, what about the kid over here who's starting at left guard, and he's 30 pounds too light? He's 5 inches too short. He's not going to have a single scholarship offer. But his job tonight is crucially important to whether they win the game or not. His job is crucially important to whether the kid with offers can get a snap off or not. Okay, what about him? Tell me his story. Okay, because he's probably going to come back and be the mayor someday, of the town. And I hate every time I turn on a high school game on like ESPN.
That's what they concentrate on.
Well, half the game they're concentrating on who's being recruited or who played here and all that kind of. I don't want that. If I wanted that, I'll look it up. I have the internet. I have recruiting sites. I'm watching because I want to see this game. Give me something that give me some information about this game and these teams that I can't find on a recruiting website. And I think that's kind of, the way they need to look at it more often.
Well, and I feel like your Hometown Hero series does highlight those schools and those players in the moment.
Sure. And the goal to begin with was just, I've got the cameras and I know how to edit. So if I can go out here and capture this in the way that it kind of is,
right?
How will that come across? And so far the response has been really good. All right. Country Please and text line. Let me see where we are here. Rebel Greg says, show the Queen these pictures after Hartfield Academy lost the game last week. Look at this. So you got like a coach or a dad hugging a player.
No, I can't handle that. Bless their hearts.
Look at them, players hugging each other, big tears rolling down their face.
I'm telling you, look at that.
Seymour says, Miss Annabeth. He calls you Mrs. Annabeth.
Oh, that's nice.
It is awful. Feels like someone rips your heart out. Talking about when that stuff happens.
Well, and you remember, as soon as I said it, you remember the feeling. You remembered that you kept your uniform on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So those 4 years, or however many years you play, that impacts your life.
No doubt.
Let me tell you another one. When it's your kid.
Oh, yeah. So JBC sent me a picture here of he hugging his youngest after a playoff loss in 2010 to Olive Branch. Yeah, can you imagine?
No. And is it harder when you lose away from home? Do you kind of want to, if you're going to lose, do you want to lose on your home field so that you're like, which one is worse?
I think they're both horrible.
The only thing about it's good and bad either one. Like if you're away from home, it's not like your final memory is on the home field.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, there's a better chance that your last memory on the home field was a win.
Yeah.
But if you lose on the road, you're riding that bus.
And you know you're not going to line up on that field again.
That's awful, man.
I didn't mean to be negative Nelly here.
Oh, it's not. No, I mean, it's
those are great moments.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's sports. It's what makes you love it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trade anything
for
those moments. You know, it's more captivating for me as a parent because I know what I did as a player, but to have your child do it and then to watch them and the camaraderie that they develop through elementary school, junior high, and then they play in high school. And it's just, there's nothing like they'll ever do that again.
That's right.
You know,
JB and Matt making me cry today.
The real Eric says, are we going to get a Hometown Hero episode of a 17-year-old Matt Wyatt playing for Prattville High? He says, I know you can edit some old film to make one. No, I don't know that any exists. Maybe it does. But here's the thing, like old home videos, there for a while when I was playing for Prattville, we got a home video camera that had actual tape in it.
Oh, yeah, everybody had those. We had one of those.
And we gave it to my mom, and it was her responsibility to hit record when the play would start. And every single play she recorded, she would focus the camera on the line of scrimmage, hit record it. You see Matt going up to the line, blue 88, and I'd say, Hudut! And then she would drop the camera down, and all we see is her feet, and we hear her going, we gotta go throw, get it! Every play. We don't have a single play on tape from the home camera stuff we had.
Oh, that's great.
Because she just couldn't watch the game through the camera and point it at the play. She could only do that until we snapped it, and then she'd just go nuts and wave the camera all over the place.
I remember those cameras. We had those cameras.
Yeah.
That was the good old days, huh?
The good old days of the home video camera.
The home video camera.
Peanut Butter Falcon says...
Falcon.
He says, this is not football but basketball. He says, I still remember burying my face in my dad's chest after we got upset in the first round of state playoffs as the 1 seed. That memory is buried in my mind forever, but that's what dads are for. He said, forgot to add, crying the whole time in my dad's chest.
Oh.
Yeah,
you remember that. You remember those.
Mm-hmm.
Those times, you know?
Yeah, you sure do. Thibodeau, Country Pleasing Text, says, tell HQ that Kelly Ripa all the time rubs me the wrong way. Rubs me the wrong way.
I'm just not a huge fan of hers. Maybe in the beginning, but then once she was on there for so long,
Yeah. And White Denzel says the homecoming queen needs a daily segment. She's a natural. All right, we got a couple of minutes to the break, and our man, I believe, the man, the myth, the legend, who we've already heard from today, but he's back to talk to HQ. Chicken Hawk is on the Davini Equipment phone line. Hawk, is that you?
Yeah, it is. Hold on a minute. Let me get away from the microphone. Hold on, HQ.
What is that?
I ain't never had my feelings hurt so bad in my life, HQ.
Are you crying?
Yes, I am. You just body slammed me a while ago.
I did?
Yes, you did. Talking about...
I just said your call was a long call.
All she said was that you have long phone calls.
No. That's not what you said, HQ. You said, what's his name? And then Matt said, you talking about Chicken Hawk?
I can't.
Yes, HQ.
Oh, what's his name?
I'm so sorry. I don't do good with all these caller names. I would, if you tell me your real name, I would remember it.
Listen here, Miss HQ. They call me Chicken Hawk, okay? But listen to me. I know that you done it because you wanted them school up northers. See, that's what the deal is right there. Because you know that I'm the #1 fan in the land for #Hell State. And I know what you've done. You body slammed me on purpose, but you do have a beautiful voice. And y'all ought to do a segment. I got to go. These doggone chickens is hungry.
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
But I did have to blow my nose.
Oh, well, I hope you feel better. Bye-bye.
I wasn't crying, but I did have to blow my nose. Hey, I'm going to remember that one, JB. They say, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Oh,
It's dusty up in here.
I thought I'd made him cry. I thought he enjoyed our segment so much.
I am genuinely, I'm going for it. I'm going to say, I'm not crying, but I did have to blow my nose. Oh, Chicken Hawk. He's a hell, what's his name?
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. And
Lord
I say that
mercy.
a lot. Mary Liddy gets on to me. I'll say, what's his face? What's his name?
Yeah.
I'm just bad about that. It was nothing personal.
Fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. Hey, did you see where Arkansas's head coach Sam Pittman, he tested positive.
Oh, no.
They did the subsequent test, tested positive, so he can't coach this weekend against Florida. They're going to have to let assistant
maybe he
coach.
should call Saban. Saban can tell him how to come out of it negatively and go ahead and coach, right?
How to test out of it.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I still think he's going to win SEC Coach of the Year, don't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I
Wouldn't
think
be surprised
he will.
though. You know, I'll say this though. If Dan Mullen beats Nick Saban in the SEC championship game, he will be the Coach of the Year, even with a loss to A&M, if they win it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Florida is going to play Bama in the championship game whenever we have it. Bama's going to probably run them off the field. I don't know. Bama will give up some points to Florida, but they're going to beat them.
Who did we watch when we saw it in Atlanta?
Alabama and Florida.
I thought so. I thought it was Alabama and Florida.
Yep.
Who was the coach at Florida?
Jim McElwain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, during the break, are you going to be with us for the next segment?
I
HQ?
think I might not be able to stay the whole time, but I'll be here for a few minutes, JB.
Cool. Well, I just didn't want you to run out without saying bye, but I want you to look at what I retweeted to Matt during the break.
Okay.
It's something incredible.
Okay. We'll check it out. All right. Stick around.
This portion of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Ameristar Casino in Vicksburg. The SEC
Farm
is
Bureau
back.
Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' Sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine.
Matt Wyatt Show, live in the studio. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
All right, back with you. Farm Bureau Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown Heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Available to you in all 82 counties across the state of Mississippi. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Y'all text us on the Country Pleasin' Sausage text line. It is the best sausage, period.
The best.
Annie, you saw me eating sausage this way. I eat it literally every day.
You do. And I eat it with you some, but you eat it every day.
Every day. Today, I finished up what was left of one package of blueberry maple.
Right.
And a package of regular maple.
Which smells so good.
It makes the whole house smell good.
Yeah.
Like if you buy a new house, you ought to cook some maple Country Pleasin' sausage.
Just cook it up.
And it makes the house smell like home.
It does.
Anyway, y'all text us 885-ESPN. Ghost Pepper says Fraggle Rock was awful. It's a well-known fact that all the characters on Fraggle Rock were not talented enough to be on Sesame Street.
Wait a minute. Where did that come from?
Well, because on this day in 1969, Sesame Street made its debut on PBS.
I remember Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, on HBO.
Yeah. Or they would show it to us when we couldn't go outside for recess. In elementary school, we'd all sit there and watch a Fraggle Rock episode. I didn't really like it. It's kind of weird.
I kind of thought it was cool. But I will admit
it was weird. Don't you think it was weird?
It was weird. It was definitely weird.
Yeah.
No doubt. Right. It was like the off-brand Sesame Street.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
Okay, JB, thank you for texting.
JB,
or
that was amazing.
Yeah, it just happened.
Are you serious? And who is
it
that?
Just happened about John Rahm.
Yeah, John Rahm.
All right, John Rahm, pro golfer. They're practicing at the Masters. He's on number 16. And they always do this on the par 3 16th, is during practice rounds, they try to skip one.
I remember that hole, don't I? We were over there.
Mm-hmm. We were over there. They try to skip one across the pond up onto the green. They all try to do that in practice. Years ago, Annie, you'll remember before you and I were able to go to the Masters to get to the actual tournament, Saturday, Sunday of 2017 when Patrick Reed won, which I would love to talk about that because it was phenomenal.
We'll have to do that another day.
Well, maybe this week because the Masters is this week.
Have you talked to Don yet?
No, we're going to have him on tomorrow.
It's one of my most favorite interviews you do all year.
Yeah, Don.
Don knows everything about the Masters.
And he'll be at Augusta, and we'll talk to him on the phone tomorrow.
He's great.
But anyway, remember like 2012, somewhere in there, I drove over all in one day for a practice round.
Yeah.
JB, I woke up, I left my house at like 4 a.m. I drove 7 hours to Augusta, walked around the course and watched the practice round all day, followed Tiger and others. Got back in my car and drove 7 hours right back home, all in one day. But anyway,
that's crazy.
It was crazy,
and we have a crazy story too. I'll have to tell you the next time I'm on about
yeah.
But anyway,
something that happened that day.
But I did it. But anyway, that day, I watched guys at 16 skipping the ball across the pond in that practice round.
You've never seen that happen, though, that video.
Not a hole-in-one.
That was amazing.
Not like Rahm did it. But one thing
he
that
made a
amazed
hole-in-one yesterday.
No.
Really? And some guys play their whole life, never hit one.
There you go, talking to him.
That particular stunt on that hole, JB, in that practice round in 2012, there was a 14-year-old kid, he was like an Asian kid, who had qualified as an amateur for the Masters and was a big story that way. He was 14 years old playing in the Masters. And in the practice round, he was practicing with Tom Watson. Mm-hmm. And I went over there, and they go to 16, and I'm just amazed. These golfers are so good. This 14-year-old kid just drops the ball down. Tom Watson skips one across the water up onto the green, and this 14-year-old kid drops the ball down, and like it's nothing. Like it was nothing. Just purposefully skips the ball right across the water.
Perfect.
And his followed the same path Tom Watson's did right up there to the hole. And I'm thinking, it's a whole different ball game what those guys are doing, what they are capable of. It is a whole different. I don't even understand golf the way they understand it. Never have. It's really incredible.
Well, some of the images I've been seeing online of just the leaves and everything at the Masters, it really is neat to see it this season, you know.
Look at this picture. We got a photographer. It's a really good photo to whoever or whomever you are. Texted us a photo, said to answer the Homecoming Queen's question. This is what it feels like. It's a photo I took after the Hartfield Hawks lost on Friday, and it's two players hugging. And
that is the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
What a phenomenal job by the photographer, though. I mean, that's pro right there for sure.
That is so great.
For sure.
See, everybody has those moments.
Norman sent a picture of maybe a.
Aw.
Let's see here.
What is that?
His daughter was a high school senior this spring. All-state trumpet player, Pontotoc High School.
Aww.
The Warriors of Pontotoc.
And so she played for her last on field.
Yeah.
So it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Special for everybody.
Yep. Okay, Joey hanging on. The Davini Equipment phone line. Joey, what's up?
Send your cares away. Worries for another day down in Fraggle Rock.
That's
I love
it.
That's it, Fraggle Rock.
I absolutely love it. I think Sesame Street should have quit being a show when Fraggle Rock came on because they smashed them.
I remember watching Fraggle Rock.
Hey, and Matt, the guy who said, commented behind me, which folks just seem to love to do, and they just keep being wrong. I don't know why people have this incessant need to straighten me out before they slow down and take a break, because every time, if that offense, I know it was Vanderbilt, but I don't care if it was Air, the opposing defense is regardless to what passes the eye test. He put the training wheels back on. And to say you don't put the training wheels back on anything, I tell you what, if I've got a kid that I take the training wheels off their bike and they fall 16 times, Matt, I'm going to put the training wheels back on and see if we can get them pedaling better first. You absolutely do. Psychology's proved it. It's called industry versus inferiority. Now go sit down somewhere, dude. Good day.
Thanks for the call, Joey.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that's all about.
He loved Fraggle Rock, though.
I tell you what, and he sang the song, too, didn't he?
You know the song. You loved the show.
Sing your cares away.
I don't remember.
Worries for another day. Down to Fraggle Rock.
I could have done without that.
Down to Fraggle Rock.
JB, do you have a mute button over there?
No, man.
I did play this, though.
I got a mute button here, but not all the way up there.
I didn't really love Sesame Street either. Sorry. Okay.
Cookie. For me,
I did love the Cookie Monster.
As a kid, I never sat down to watch Sesame Street, but every time you were home from school sick,
yeah, you got to watch it.
You sat on the couch and watched
Mr.
Sesame
Rogers,
Street. And then Mr. Rogers,
Mr. Wizard,
and then Electric Company came on.
Yeah,
and then after Electric Company was 3-2-1 Contact.
Yeah,
Contact is the reason.
Was that the vampire? What was the Count Dracula?
Oh,
I didn't like. He's scary.
Oh yeah.
He scared me.
Cookie.
He made me nervous.
Two.
Kind of like the kidnapper on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah,
I loved Bert and Ernie. They were my favorite.
Bert and Ernie.
Hey Bert. Hey Bert. Rubber Ducky. Sing me the Rubber Ducky song.
No, Matt, if you start singing the Rubber Ducky song, I'm out.
We're almost out of time anyway.
I know you're out of time, but I feel like I liked the Muppets better. I liked the Muppets.
Yeah, I'm a big Muppets fan.
I really liked Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Mm-hmm. Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
Matt has a good Kermit the Frog voice.
Kermit the Frog. That's all I got. That's all I got. Now, Fozzie.
That was good. Fozzie the Bear.
Yeah. Fozzie the Bear had a great Twitter account at one point, and it was just constant Fozzie jokes. And then some bot took over it and started tweeting all kinds of BS.
I'm not trying to get you back to football, but I did have this thought that came in my brain the other night when y'all were doing the post-game show. Well, it was before it was the press conference.
Yeah.
I feel like Mike Leach's voice is kind of cartoonish. Like could be a cartoon guy.
Good, yeah.
He could.
Yeah, he
kind of snort. Yeah, and I kept thinking
he'll snort every now and then.
I kept thinking this guy sounds like a cartoon character. I mean,
yeah.
He does, don't you think?
Yeah,
he could be Archie Bunker.
He could be something. He could be something.
His inflection is different than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, it's just so different.
Let's just hear real quick.
I think they're neck and neck, and we'll continue to split the refs
can't you
this
just
week.
Picture him as a cartoon? Something.
Well, he'd have a great Muppet voice.
Well, maybe that's what it just made me think, and I meant to tell you that.
No update. He's
he could actually be like
don't you
a
think?
Muppet voice, couldn't he?
I meant to tell you that.
I'd like to see Marshall Ramsey do a cartoon of him.
There you go.
Yeah.
I meant to tell you that after when you got home, but I just forgot. And
I'm
thought,
sure you will at some point.
Well, whatever. Okay, did you talk about Ole Miss? Have you talked about Ole Miss today?
Why would we talk about Ole Miss?
Well, who does Ole Miss play this weekend?
No, I don't know.
Thanks, Matt. Let's get on top of that.
They play South Carolina. They are going to absolutely beat
Oxford?
It's in Oxford.
Oh, that's
and they are going to beat the tar out of South Carolina.
You think?
Yes. Yes, South Carolina.
They're going to tar and feather them chickens.
They are going to tar and feather the Gamecocks.
Is Don? So Don's coming on to talk about the Masters tomorrow, and he's in South Carolina. Is he a South Carolina guy?
Yeah, they've moved. He's in Columbia now.
Is he like South Carolina? Is that his team?
No, he's a Clemson fan.
That's right, he's Clemson.
Although he did radio for a while for South Carolina.
I thought so. He's great.
He's great.
Hey, Clemson lost, didn't they?
They did, lost to Notre Dame. So he's a little bit down in the dumps, and he's mad at me because he texted me after that game, and he said, "Did you watch the Clemson game?" And I said, "No." And he's just mad because I didn't watch.
Should have just said yes.
So we'll talk to him from the Masters tomorrow. HQ, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks, JB.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
stopping by. Always good to have you.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Stay classy.
Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. the best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land...
And on your radio at ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
All right, back with you. Rolling along here, getting ready to finish up hour number 2. I'm starting to see a couple of things on Twitter that, let's see, Yazoo County at Canton. Are we talking about? Yeah, we're talking about basketball. Okay, so we're not talking about football. Yazoo County at Canton basketball has been canceled. Okay, got it. Any updates on that? Y'all can tweet me. I'm Radio Wyatt on Twitter. Hit me there. Text the show on the Country Pleasin' text line, 885-ESPN, or call me on the Davini phone, 995-1059. It's a 601 number. 995-1059. Thibodeau has been hanging on for a little while, and I appreciate that, Thibodeau. What's up?
What's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Good. Yeah, just a minute ago, JB came back to the phone and said, hey, can you hang on? We got a 3.5-minute break. And I said, yeah. And then I thought, you know what that means? I'm about to get a couple of PSAs. And I'm about to get a couple of PSAs. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite ones, and it's my favorite because I think not all of them, but most of them are basically, here's how stupid we think the public is. But the best one is the lady telling me to lock my car.
Okay. I don't know if I've heard that one, though.
Yeah, we've got one where she's telling you to always remember to take your keys and your key fob with you and to lock your vehicle.
Hey, you know what, I got a good buddy of mine that, and I can't tell his name, but about 2 weeks ago, he got out of his car, took his keys with him, but he left his extra set in the car, and his car got stolen.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe all the money that was spent on production for that one commercial is geared at that one guy.
Oh, he's a smart guy, too. That's what I said. Maybe so.
But why is it somebody's responsibility to tell all the stupid people what to do, how to lock their car? I mean, that's one thing we ought to ask. And let me just tell you, I got to say, Thibodeau, I mean, this is all meant in jest, but you lack imagination if that's the most interesting, according to you, PSA you've heard on this radio station. I mean, for Pete's sake.
It's not the most interesting. It's my favorite because it's the one that says you're all idiots the most.
Right.
You know, because we've got the one where they're teaching you how to put your baby in a car seat. I'm like, well, we need to know that.
Hey, have you heard the one saying that, you know, sometimes kids have crooked teeth and they get so tired of it they try to pull their own teeth out. Have you heard that one?
That one's good. And the commercial for the benefitscheckup.org is also one of my favorites because the lady says, "Hey, Mike, I usually run into your wife, Susan, at the grocery store. Like she needs to tell Mike what his wife's name is."
You know what I heard? It's funny about that, and I know I'm taking up your time, but we got plenty of time, Thibodeau. But I remember a couple of years ago, this is not that long ago, a couple of years ago, there was a commercial on television where the star in the commercial was Brian Orakpo, who at the time was playing for the Washington Redskins of the NFL. And one of the actors in the commercial, whatever, I don't even remember what they were advertised, but one of the actors goes, like Orakpo said something, he goes, "What?" He goes, "You are Brian Orakpo, star defensive end for the Washington Redskins. You don't need da-da-da-da-da." And I thought, look, Cal, look. If you have to have a character in your commercial explain who this star is, maybe he ain't that big of a star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's along the same lines.
Yeah, that one with Mike and Susan is one of my favorites because it's just like, has anybody else caught that she has to tell him what the wife's name is?
That's great. I love that.
Well, they could be more.
What I was calling for, I was hoping I could get in here before the homecoming queen got off because I wanted to tell her, as much people was talking about how y'all should do a segment, I think they're right in that, but I also think she's got the ability to do ad voiceovers.
Yeah.
Like, I think she could do really, really great ads on radio for just about anything across the state and the Southeast.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and I know you're not just blowing smoke. You really are right, and she just has the voice. She did news. She was a news anchor reporter in her previous life when we met and everything, and she definitely can do it. And I don't know, it's been a long time since it aired, but back when Roger was producing the show, really early on, he said, "Hey, we need somebody to cut a voiceover that says you're listening to the Matt Wyatt Show or you've been listening to the Matt."
I remember that.
Well, I had her cut it, and that was her voice, and she absolutely could do it. There's no question. If we wanted to just market her as a voiceover person, she could do it for a living, no question.
I think she could say "What's in your wallet" a whole lot better than Jennifer Garner can.
What's in your wallet? Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you guys have a good one. I'll keep listening.
Yeah, appreciate it, Thibodeau. Thanks for the compliment. Very, very much. Yep. Annabeth, she's talented, no question about it. And yes, and I tell you what. Okay, so tomorrow they've canceled the par 3 at the Masters, so that won't happen tomorrow. We will check in with Don Williams live from Augusta tomorrow on the show, and then the tournament starts Thursday. So one of these days, Annabeth will come back, sit down, and we'll go over a couple things because she's right. She has you won't believe it, honestly, the story that she has about what happened when I drove myself to a Masters practice round in 2012, and I left at 4 a.m. from Tupelo. I drove 7 hours straight to Augusta, got out of the car, walked the course until dark, got back in my car, drove 7 hours back home. I'll never do anything like that again, but I am glad I did it that one time. But she has a story of something that happened that day that it's just unbelievable. And we'll get her to tell that. And I'd love for her to give you some memories of when she and I walked the course for 2 days in 2017. We went to the Masters, got to go to Saturday, Sunday. I got to be there on Sunday at 18 when Patrick Reed won. That was a different experience for the Masters in and of itself because none of the fans there wanted Patrick Reed to win, but had to cheer for him anyway because, hey, it's the Masters and the cameras are on. But that was a weird thing, too. Let me get over here to the text line. We had a lot of stuff that came in.
Hey, while you were moving over to the text line, we're about 3 minutes out. Just a little bit of sad breaking news that's taken place over the last 45 minutes is the legendary Hall of Fame coach and Hall of Fame basketball player Tommy Heinsohn has passed away.
Okay. Tell me about him.
Tommy Heinsohn was probably one of the best small forwards to ever play in the late 50s, early 60s. He was on Red Auerbach's team, and he was one of my most hated coaches because I was a 76er fan. But, yeah, he is a Celtic legend and a Boston legend and just a great dude. Back in the time when the Celtics won 13 in a row, he was a teammate of Bill Russell, Koozies, Sam Jones, KC Jones, all those guys.
Okay. So did he play with Bailey Howell?
Yeah, they played together. They sure did.
I guess they would have.
Sure did. Yep, they sure did.
Well, I hate to hear that.
Yeah. 86 years young.
86. That's a good long life.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. Country Pleasing text line 885 ESPN. So I mentioned the photo that was sent to us from the Hartfield game. Russell Adcox, the photographer for Hartfield. Russell, thanks. I'm going to tell you what, that's a great job swinging that camera around. Good job. Rebel Rex, he says, how about Romper Room? I don't remember Romper Room. I don't remember that at all. Tyler said that. What was that, like a show?
Romper, Bumper, Stomper, Boo. Tell me, do. Did all my friends have fun at play?
What in the world?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Hey, Rebel Rex brought you something today.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the picture, too. So I appreciate it. I'll get up with you on that. I got to figure this week out what I'm going to do, where the travel is and when and all that kind of stuff. Tyler said the intro to Electric Company used to scare me when I was little for some reason. Electric Company. I remember the song. I don't remember what the intro looked like on PBS. Nick says, hey, Matt, when MSU went away from the toss play they used in the first half of the Vanderbilt game, was that because the Vandy defense took that look away in the second half? It seemed to work great in the first half. Thanks for taking my question. Well, Nick, I am this afternoon when the show's over going to jump into going back and watching the game again, start to kind of figure out a few things to highlight in a film study video. I think that'll be one of them. You know, what was there? Why wasn't it there later? That kind of thing. That's one of them. And then also the difference in coverage and how they kind of adjusted it and started to bring a little pressure, and they kind of fouled things up for the freshman backfield for State. But that'll be one thing I'll look at. I do think it's simply one of those where there's some defensive alignment stuff where they adjusted and said, hey, we can't give them those easy yards on the toss. And they widened on a line of scrimmage a little bit, make sure they had edge defenders who were a little more clearly present near the line of scrimmage, and actually played a little more man-to-man coverage after that too. So that's just one thing. Louvier sent us a picture of my son's last high school baseball game. And that's tough, man. Thanks for the picture, Louvier. You know, there are moments as a parent that you are made for. That's one of them. Need that shoulder. Oh, yeah, Fraggle Rock, the trash heap. That's good. All right, that'll wrap up hour 2, hour 3 coming up. Some stuff to get into. What State improved in against Vanderbilt. We didn't get that yesterday, so we're going to get it next. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services are greater than those of other law firms. Offices Jackson.
This portion of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Ameristar Casino in Vicksburg. The SEC is back, and so is college football and the National Football League. And now is the time to catch all the action at the End Zone Sportsbook. Grab your crew and come play at the premier sportsbook in Central Mississippi. Or just kick back and watch your favorite team on one of the many televisions on the property. Don't walk away hungry. Let Bella's and the Heritage Restaurant feed your appetite. Stay, play, and dine at Central Mississippi's premier gaming destination, Ameristar Casino Hotel. Gambling problem? Call 888-777-9696.
Malone Roofing Shingle Division is proud to be your preferred GAF Master League contractor. And with their help, we at Malone protect what matters most. With the help of 3D home mapping software, phone or video conferencing, and electronic signature forms, Malone is able to provide a uniquely remote experience to meet the challenges of this ever-changing world. Schedule your free storm evaluation, even if you've initially been denied your claim, by filling out our contact form on ecmalone.com or by calling 1-833-7-MALONE.
Hey, if your vehicle is ever damaged in a collision, please listen carefully. At Clinton Body Shop, we are OEM factory certified with more than 20 national and international manufacturers. In fact, we are Central Mississippi's only Volvo certified auto body repair shop, and we're the first BMW certified independent repair facility in the southern region. At our Richland, Mississippi location on Highway 49, we are Mississippi's only Subaru certified repair facility. Look, if some of the most prestigious automakers in the world certify Clinton Body Shop, shouldn't you choose them for your repair? After all, it's your car and your choice. Clinton Body Shop in Clinton and Richland. Certified by the company that made your car to repair your car with OEM factory parts. It's about your family's safety and your car's value. Go to ClintonBodyShop.com. That's ClintonBodyShop.com for more information.
At Lowe's, we're giving a special thanks to our pros during our Provember event, now through November 25th. We have deals and events, plus credit programs that work for pros. We're offering everyday 5% savings on eligible purchases. Plus, through March 31st, 2021, 60 days promotional financing on your Lowe's business account, or extended terms on eligible account receivables. Learn more in-store or at lowesforpros.com. You'll see why we're the new home for pros. Subject to credit approval, terms apply, U.S. only.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
As a minimalist, paying less for insurance is more.
Nice place. Is your house a bubble?
It's a dome. I find corners unnecessary.
At Liberty Mutual, that's how we feel about overpaying for insurance.
But I do miss having shelves.
What would you put on them?
Nothing, obviously.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I've got muscular dystrophy. That means my muscles are weak and it can be hard.
7 hours back home. I'll never do anything like that again, but I am glad I did it that one.
Online at the
Anyway, y'all text us 885 Rock. We're not talented enough to be.
I remember Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, on HBO.
Yeah, or they would show it to us when we couldn't go outside for recess.
Breathing is often hard when you live with a neuromuscular disease, but the Muscular Dystrophy Association is here to help.
MDA is what ensures they receive critical medical care at one of over 150 care centers across the U.S.
During COVID-19, kids like me are at a greater risk.
The Muscular Dystrophy Association needs your support now more than ever.
COVID-19 won't stop us. To learn how you can help, please visit helpmda.org. Thank you.
Hey, Mike. I usually run into your wife, Susan, here at the supermarket, not you.
Susan had to find a part-time job. Ever since we retired, it's getting harder to make ends meet. I mean, look at these prices.
I know. Have you heard about benefitscheckup.org?
Benefitscheckup.org?
Yeah, benefitscheckup.org is a free website where people over 60 can see if they qualify for help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. BenefitsCheckup.org has helped 7 million people get $30 billion in benefits.
Are you sure it's not a scam?
Listen, BenefitsCheckup.org is run by the nonprofit National Council on Aging. It helped me get $1,200 a year in benefits.
See ya. I'm going home now to visit BenefitsCheckup.org.
Wait, you can use it on your smartphone too. And it looks like you've got the time with this line. BenefitsCheckup.org helped me. Maybe it can help you.
This is WRKS Pickens Jackson. Live
in the studio.
Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone, 1059.com, and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour 3 of the show off and running. Thanks for tuning in. However, wherever. Appreciate y'all being around. I'm Matt. JB is here. We're in the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau. This hour, third hour of the show every day, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville or Stark Vegas, however you prefer to say it. If you're going up there, especially if you're going like permanently, moving, need a place to live. Or maybe if you're headed to Starkville and it's, 7 weekends out of the year, 10, 12, 15. You need a condo that's yours when you roll into town for a ball game. Leasing an apartment. Anything residential, go to Overstreet Properties. Check them out online, overstreetproperties.com. When you see Kane Overstreet, tell him I sent you. That'll help you out a little bit also. Thanks for tuning in. So text me, call me, tweet me. Text line is 885-ESPN. It is a 601 number, 885-ESPN, 885-3776. Call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. It is 995-1059, 601 number, 995-1059. Hour 3 of the show off and running. Hey, JB, let's file this one away. When we talk to Ryan.
Yeah, the one from Rebel Rex.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
I like it.
Rex said, hey, Matt, can you get your impression guy to do a Leach Kiffin press conference before the Egg Bowl? That boy's good. He is good. He's done some good ones. I think my favorites right now are Chris Rock, John Madden, John Gruden, probably with Chris Rock number 1. When he does George Bush, he's pretty good with that one too now. When he does George W. And he'll say, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. He tickles me with all those. He does a good job. The Leach one is, I don't know, man. I mean, you'd think there are things you could pick up with Leach and then repeat it, but I think it's a little more difficult than people realize.
No update. He's still unavailable.
Because there's an accent in there for Mike that is, it's not, I mean, it's really not even Midwestern, is it? I mean, it's a Wyoming accent.
I think they're neck and neck, and we'll continue to split the reps this week for the first couple practices.
You kind of got to get out of breath at the end of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's got to be some grunting and snorting going on in there. And for Kiffin, I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, because he's just so unemotional.
Exactly. I mean, it is as dry
unless he's flushing a commode.
Which he did on purpose.
Oh, I guarantee he did.
The man on purpose flushed a toilet during the press conference over the phone. Let's see what Kiffin sounds like. There we go.
I thought Matt played extremely well. Hit some big plays. Was really accurate. John had a little more up and down. Did some really good things. Fumbled once for a big turnover. But both of them did some things to excite us.
Hey, Ryan's Coach O was good, though. Remember when Coach O?
Yeah, it was great, and it was very good with his impromptu-ness, the way he made you think about killing that snake, making a belt and getting some gumbo.
It was the day that we had the snake issue, or the day after. I'm telling the story, and he goes, it's Coach O. He calls in his Coach O, and he's like, tell you how to take care of them snakes on the golf course. And then he basically said that, he said, just take your 9-iron and just smash it over the head. And then he says, you take the snake, skin it, make you some gumbo, make you a belt. Right?
Get some gumbo.
Make you some gumbo. That dude is wild. I do have to read this, and then I'm going football. Here's what we're going to do. I mean, here's my problem, y'all, with some of these things. At times there are things that I would like to cover and get into. Maybe I'm not the best at taking advantage or taking cues from you, but I learned this from a radio and I guess, media consultant several years ago. The theory is that in radio, for instance, that hosts, people who talk, you're either one of two types. You're either a generator or a reactor. And generators, a lot of times maybe kind of like the straight man. They're a little better at, here's where this topic needs to go. Here's how you're going to get this started. Whereas the reactor is more comfortable when somebody says, hey, Matt, what do you think about this? And then, boom, here you go, right? So I think I'm generally more of a reactor and have been. So sometimes I may want to talk about these things, ways that State showed some improvement against Vanderbilt. But for me, because I'm a reactor, it's a little hard to get to it because I'm really just reacting to stuff that I see and read and all that. We'll get to it. Ways that they showed some improvement. But I just want to bring this up because it is a big sports story. And, whether you like it or not, you're going to see it everywhere coming up. You know how recently the Chicago White Sox hired former Cardinals manager, former A's manager, Tony La Russa? The White Sox hired him. He's an older guy now. Well, it turns out he got himself arrested for DUI just a couple of days before they hired him. And there's a report out there now. ESPN obtained the full arrest report for Chicago White Sox manager Tony La Russa DUI charge. There's a quote in there that he said to the officer, do you see my ring? La Russa said to the arresting officer, quote, I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person. I'm legit. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. Now, what do you think when you hear that or you read it? What comes to mind, honestly?
Handcuffs.
Well, okay. What else comes to mind?
Just arrogance.
You know what comes to, yeah, exactly, arrogance. You know what comes to, you know what I picture in my head? Two things. First of all, I picture Ron Burgundy from Anchorman going, do you see my ring? I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person. I have many leather-bound books. My apartment smells of rich mahogany. Merlin Olsen comes over to my apartment. That is straight out of Anchorman. Do you see my ring? Yes. And then the other, I'm a Hall of Famer brother. Who goes around calling people brother? You know who does?
Preachers.
Hulk Hogan did. I'm a Hall of Famer brother. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. Yeah. It is. DUIs are not a laughing matter. Dadgummit. But when a man says, do you see my ring? I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person. That reeks of Anchorman. And when you say I'm a Hall of Famer, brother, there ain't but one guy can walk around saying I'm a Hall of Famer, brother, and that's Hulk Hogan. All right. The phone line is back up. Davini Equipment phone line. Call me, 601-995-1059, 601-995-1059. Ready, Teddy, hanging out. What's up, Teddy?
Oh, man, not much. This morning I noticed, and I don't know how I missed it, that are you aware that Liberty is scheduled to come and play football in Oxford next year?
Come on, tell the truth.
That's what I thought.
Are you serious?
Did I misread that?
Wait a minute. When did that happen? All right. So, where did you see it, Teddy?
I saw it on some website I was reading, and then
okay. I'm going to look it up.
I looked it up, but
I'm at OleMissSports.com. Let's go to football and then click schedule, and let's see if there's anything here for no. All right. So that ain't it. There ain't no 2021 schedule there. Let's just type in 2021 Ole Miss football.
Saturday, November 6th.
Come on, JB.
Liberty Flames at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, Oxford, Mississippi.
November 6th?
Of 2021. Yeah, they're 4 out-of-conference games. Mm-hmm. Louisville, Austin Peay, Tulane, and the Liberty Flames.
Wow.
Wow. Who in the world at Ole Miss okayed that? Because there's only one or two things I want to do, and I can't decide whether I want to buy the guy a beer or punch him in the mouth.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about Hugh Freeze coming. I don't think he'll be at Liberty next year.
That's the only thing is Hugh may not be there, but somebody got a little tricky with the schedule. I think that cannot be coincidence.
Lord have mercy, it can't be coincidence. But here's my thing about it, Teddy. You're going, who's responsible for okaying that? But then I'm going, how'd they okay it, get it on the schedule, and it has totally slipped under everybody's radar completely. I mean,
well, I couldn't. I was shocked when I saw whatever I was reading about Hugh Freeze, and it said that they were scheduled to go to Oxford. So then I checked the schedule myself and saw what JB just read. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, "There's no way somebody at Ole Miss really wanted that game in Oxford."
It had to be something from 4 or 5 years ago, honestly, that they did it that
that's
far.
That's the only
out.
thing I can think of, but that's
Thank you, Ross Bjork.
That's a heck of a coincidence.
I tell you what, Ross Bjork is just the gift that keeps on giving, isn't he? Isn't he, Clark?
Wow. Well, man, that's all I have for today. I was just wondering if y'all be as shocked as I was.
I'm shocked. Thanks, Teddy. I had no idea. Appreciate the call.
All right, man.
I'm going to make a little video meme later today, and it's going to include Teddy's call right there where he goes, "Did y'all realize Liberty is on?" And then we're going to cut to a picture of Ross Bjork, and then I'm going to cut to the clip of Eddie going, "It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year." Clark. Man.
That's an RV.
So but look, now, I think it's just agent talk at this point. You know, Coach Freeze, like a lot of veteran coaches, they know how to answer questions about job searches. And so, well, everybody except Dan Mullen, who's a veteran coach, knows how to, I guess, succinctly yet open-endedly answer questions about job openings and stuff like that. And he had a quote, I think it was yesterday, Hugh Freeze did, that he says, it would take something really special to lure us away from what we're building here at Liberty, So, well, I got news for you what special is. About twice as much as what you're making, and back into FBS. We get it. But look, how did he do? He's a football coach now. He gets them in the end zone. He does that. And he'll get up at halftime, get some fire and brimstone speeches for sure, and some recruits and stuff like that too. He can flat get them in the end zone. I know that much. And they're doing it. They just beat Virginia Tech. Of course, they were actually favored in that game, I thought. And they went and won it. But so they're scheduled to go there next year. So if somebody doesn't gobble him up, South Carolina, somebody. The thing about it is South Carolina in the SEC, behind the scenes, the talk is that the Southeastern Conference collectively has said we're not bringing him back in here anytime soon. And so I don't know. If South Carolina makes a move on Muschamp, they're going to go after Napier at Louisiana for sure. It's just a matter of do they hit it off and strike a deal.
So Memphis and Navy has been postponed till November 14th. They were supposed to play this weekend. Yep.
Okay.
Navy announced the 19 new positive cases.
19.
You know, that affects them probably more so than your regular student athlete because they've got all the other stuff they're doing in their branch of service.
Sure.
You know, trying to keep people like Brooksy MacJack from being Maverick.
Don't we have to ask the question, though? I mean, there are, at this point in the month of November, 3 times the number of positive cases, it seems like, at SEC schools and just across the country with football programs than there were in September and October.
Yeah.
So
and
far
I think that
month.
goes back to what you talked about back in August when everything was, you know, we were uncertain about all this, that, and the other. But one thing that it seemed like all the experts agreed on, that within a couple of months and a half,
yeah,
i.e. November, middle of November, you're going to have a second wave come through.
Yeah. Well, a second wave, and because of what is kind of what I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you touched on it earlier today. You talk about the mask. I see less and less people wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
I still wear one when I'm in a public place, convenience store or whatever.
Yeah.
But you just don't see as much.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and people are starting to go back to having parties and.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So.
Yep. So that's what it got to tighten it back up. You know, especially.
Hey, by the way, did you know Tony La Russa is an attorney?
No, had no idea.
He has his law degree. When you did that bit, I looked him up and looked up some circumstances about his arrest and found out he graduated from Florida State Law School in '78.
Have you seen my ring? Do you know who I am? I'm not sure how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And then
he was in Arizona when it happened.
That's perfect. He was near Anchorman territory out in San Diego.
Yeah.
I just love it. Then Veronica Corningstone said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, yep. People know me." Merlin Olson comes over to my house. My apartment smells of rich mahogany. And he goes, "Oh." I mean, it's right out of Anchorman. Have you seen my ring?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, in the words that came out of his mouth, apparently. Do you see my ring? I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person. We should not laugh at a DUI. I can't help it.
He knew he was drunk before he got in the car.
Yeah, he knew. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. All right. Bama fan on the Country Pleasing text line says, "Hey, Matt, did you watch the Notre Dame versus Clemson game? If so, did you notice Notre Dame's running back and how he blocked on pass plays? He's one of the best I've seen picking up the blitz. Excellent job." Bama fan, I didn't watch the game, and I have yet to go back and watch it. You know, it's sort of when State Vandy was over, I go into post-game mode, and I was there for about an hour and a half, 2-hour post-game show at the restaurant in Starkville with Bart and Charlie. And then I'm at about an hour's drive home after that. And by the time I got home, it was time to sit on the couch and run around the living room, play games, and talk to my daughter, spend time with her before we got tired. And I got tired early and went on to sleep. I didn't watch a single play of it. I know I'm a bad fan. But I appreciate the heads up. I'd like to go back and watch that for sure. Noxapater Luke says, "When you're so drunk that you say you're a Hall of Famer, brother, but failed to mention you're also a lawyer?" Yeah.
I better not do that. I had second thoughts. Forget that.
Yeah. Josh tells us that this scheduled 2021 game with Liberty and Ole Miss says it was a big discussion when he got hired at Liberty. The whole narrative was, would he still be there the third year when the game was played and it was already scheduled? Yeah. But still. So,
And I don't think many people realize that because nobody really cared that Hugh Freeze was going to Liberty.
No. It was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I tell you, to manipulate recruiting rules and get your football program off the ground, all you got to have is money. That's all you have to have. And folks, Liberty has money. I'm talking about serious money. I'm talking about SEC money. Yeah. And to get to recruiting and to get that program going, all you got to have is money. Because there is no such thing as the NCAA. That's a joke. That's a ghost that doesn't exist. Rebel Tiger Dog says, what do you think of the MAIS 5A playoffs? Heard Gridiron picked against the Leak Academy once again. It was a great football game this past Friday night. I've heard a lot about that game, Rebel Tiger Dog. 42-35 over Hartfield. What a ball game. So you got Lamar. Is that it? Lamar versus Leak this week?
Yeah, Lamar's out of Meridian.
Well, are Chris and them already picking games?
I don't see one, and I'm on their website right now. I haven't seen any picks yet, but I'm perusing.
Yeah. Joey says, Matt, would South Carolina hire the guy from Coastal Carolina? Yeah, I don't know about that, but you can bet your bottom dollar that helps put the pressure on the situation at South Carolina. The fact that, Clemson is Clemson, and now Coastal Carolina's ranked. It's COVID and everything, but still.
Well, I look back. I think what the texter's referring to, Matt, is that last week in their picks before the game, both Brandon and Chris had Hartfield winning the game.
What a ball game that must have been. Everybody's still talking about it. Wish I could have seen it. That's the only negative thing about high school football is they're all happening on the same night. You can only be at one time. Chris laments that from time to time, too. He's like, I can't be in enough places. Yep. All right, more of your texts. And I've said this for 2 days, dadgummit, and I hadn't done it yet.
What's that, pal?
I'm going to tell you next 2 things where State showed improvement against Vandy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to. Stick around.
Ever feel like making an appointment with your doctor takes a lot of time, only to feel rushed through the actual appointment? Avoid the hassle at Capital Ortho, where our board-certified, fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons are waiting to treat you immediately with one-on-one professional.
Different.
Let's just hear real quick.
I think they're neck and neck.
See Marshall Rain.
It's not.
There's a lot going on.
A 5-minute phone call from Brooks just freaks him out.
Can't focus.
All right, so you know what I just figured out? I figured out how you guys can make the world a better place. It was a huge, Kelly Ripa. No, Kelly every now and then. But and they do
cheerleader.
Understand that, but I just think the concept of you guys hosting a show.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com. All right, back with you. Farm Bureau Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Hour 3 of the show presented by Overstreet Properties. I've told y'all that. I have a condo in Starkville. I used it last weekend during the Bama game. I'm sorry, the Vandy game, because on Friday I went to Enterprise High School right outside of Meridian and did some video work there for the Hometown Heroes video series. Also did some work for another project we got going that involves Enterprise, and it was really fun to be there for that. But that was on Friday outside of Meridian, so stayed for just about all the football game and then was able to leave and just drive from Meridian back to Starkville. Spent the night at the condo there on Friday night, got up Saturday morning, had a leisurely Saturday morning, getting footage transferred over and all that kind of stuff, and then on to the ball game from there. It's really convenient. And if you're in the market for that kind of thing, you need a place to stay when you're in Starkville for ball games, all that, go to Overstreet Properties. Online, it's overstreetproperties.com. So speaking of the Vanderbilt game, here it comes. Here it comes. Listen up. 2 days worth of teasing this. And no, I'm just kidding. It's really not earth-shattering. It's really simple. The two things, I was asked this, I never to get to it, the two things that I felt like State showed improvement, the most obvious improvement in that ball game against Vandy was, number one, quarterback getting rid of the ball quicker. Number two, winning the turnover battle. And you're like, duh? Yeah. But I think those are major areas of improvement. Think about the games you've watched. Arkansas, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Alabama. Think about those games you've watched from State. Now, go watch the first half for State against Vandy. Now, the second half, yeah, okay, and the offense completely stalled out. It seemed like couldn't get first downs, didn't score until the defense set them up. Two of the three offensive touchdowns came on really short fields that the defense gave you. But that is still a part of the game, and that is taking advantage of turnovers after what? Winning the turnover battle. It's just night and day. And as much as you're bemoaning Vandy getting back in the game, well, you didn't have a bunch of players, your lack of depth, you figure out a way to win it. Why'd you win it? Because they turned it over and you didn't. And because you had points off of turnovers and they didn't. So if I'm breaking down a few things, I want you to consider this. It was really obvious. Really, really obvious. The difference in the quickness getting the ball out for Will Rogers, especially in the early part of the game when he was seeing a lot of that same zone coverage that they'd been seeing. The quickness that he got rid of the football with, it made a difference in the early part of the game. It made the offense go. It allowed them to get some first downs and put the ball in the end zone. They've had one touchdown pass in that first half, but 3 scoring drives in that first half. And him getting rid of the ball quickly. Quick decisions versus zone, not hesitating, boom, ball's out. Catch ball, throw ball. There was no holding, there was no padding, there was no shuffling, there was no read, flip, bang, getting sacked. There was none of that. Catch ball, throw ball. And it really showed before they started making those adjustments, and primarily made some big adjustments in the second half, Vandy did. But in that first half, he's 24 of 30. He started out 11 of his first 12. I don't think we realized the start they got off to in the ballgame and how important that was. Well, the reason they got off to a good start, yes, field position after the turnover early, that the defense set you up, but also his ability to read zone coverage, catch ball, throw ball. He goes 11 for his first 12. 5 of those throws converted for first downs, and one of them was caught in the end zone for a touchdown. It set the tone early. He was 24 of 30 in the first half. Lots of completions, lots of first downs. It started changing a little bit there in the second quarter, yeah, as Vandy began to adjust. Now, the second half was a different deal. They were not getting first downs in the second half. Certainly not throwing for them, and that's what they are, as a throwing offense. And that's another thing to break down. You got a freshman quarterback, you got freshman backs, you got offensive linemen who's not supposed to be playing, and Vandy came out there and got you off the field a bunch in the second half. But I'm just saying that, to me, was a big deal. It was a noticeable difference, even to the naked eye. You don't have to be a coach to notice the difference between Rogers and Costello in previous weeks. The way Rogers looked Saturday, early in the game, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, and completing it. It was a big difference. And then, of course, winning a turnover battle versus losing it. They've been losing every turnover battle in every game. It's the first game all year you didn't have a turnover. So when you go out and you do that, and you're a team that you're coaching them up, trying to reverse some negative trends, and you go from you're the most turnover-prone team in the league to going out and not committing one. Yes, I know there were a couple of bang-bang plays. Well, to me, it's really important. And to do it is improvement. To go and not turn it over is definite improvement. All right, is Todd still hanging on?
Yes, sir.
Davini Equipment Phone. Todd, thanks for calling. Thanks for hanging on. What's up?
Not much, Matt. You and your wife were talking about the kids that worked all season. Now they won't get to play Friday night in the high school playoffs, correct?
Yes. We were talking about that.
Let's take that a step further. These teams that are getting to advance in the playoffs due to the cancels, do you think that the association should backtrack to a team that maybe lost last Friday, or just go ahead and award that team that bye week in the playoffs?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't think that I don't think I like the idea of letting a team that lost, once you've begun what we all know is the playoffs, I don't necessarily agree with the idea of taking a team that has lost and awarding them another game to play. I don't like that idea.
I agree with you on that, but on the flip side, you got a team that's sitting there, going to have a week off in the playoffs, and that can be a little bit of an advantage.
Oh, yes.
Considering they're going straight to the quarterfinals due to a forfeit, but that's something that they can't control either.
There's no question. Well, you're right. I mean, it is a huge advantage. You know, especially if the team you're going to face is over there on the other side playing their guts out, you know? Like,
yeah.
If we were to just go strictly hypothetical, who was it, JB, that had the 56-54 overtime game? Who was that?
Oh, gosh. Don't get me lying, man.
I've totally forgotten who it was now. I've got to go back and look.
Was it Winona and somebody?
No, not that one.
I can go back and look at it.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter who it is. I was just going to say, you know, if you're a team that you get this COVID bye, you're not playing this week, you're just resting up 2 weeks to get ready, and the team you're playing, let's say they're coming off an overtime win in the playoffs, and that's a big deal. You're right. So there's no question it's advantage, but I think everybody just understands, Todd, that that's the world we're in right now in 2020.
Or as the old saying goes, that's the way the cookie crumbles, huh?
That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's another good movie there. Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey. Yeah, appreciate the call, Todd. Thank you. Yeah, it's
the game you were referring to is Wesson 56 and Bay Springs 54.
Yeah. Overtime. 56-54. And can you imagine if you're Wesson, you go through that overtime game, you advance on, and let's say you hit the road, maybe, I don't know, I'm just saying, what if? You hit the road, you go play a team that's been sitting there now just resting up, just kind of making sure they get healthy. I don't know. You know, you got to go play, but just making the best of the situation right now. All right. More of your texts coming up. TV schedule stuff for CBS. If Alabama LSU doesn't play, we'll see what's up with that. Y'all stick around.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams...
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck.
Here we are. Headed on down the driveway. JB's the bus driver. He's going to get you pulled in safely into the driveway right to the front porch there of The Drive with Jake and Beeve coming up at 3. Stick around for that, huh? JB?
Yeah, buddy.
Thanksgiving right around the corner?
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. My sister, Beth, she tunes into the live stream sometimes while she's at work over there or on her lunch break.
Yeah, I follow her on Twitter. She's actually pretty cool lady.
Yeah, she's cool. She on Facebook, she posted something to her husband. Her husband's name's Pat, and she said, "This is what I want for Christmas." And you think I'm kidding? I'm not.
The Mariah Carey album.
Well, here she goes. That's all I want for Christmas. Nothing about Jesus. It's all about me. Mariah Carey. By the way, I told Brooks what I said about it. I said, and I did say. Then Beaver chimes in and goes, but I liked her music videos. and we know why. Anyway, here's what she wants. It is a picture. It says, the perfect plate for Thanksgiving dinner. You know what it is? It's a round plate with sections. They are sectioned off. Nothing touches each other. if you can picture it, it's almost like looking at if you look at a wheel with a hubcap, and it's got the little star design in there that keeps everything sectioned off. The potatoes are in one section. Sweet
keeps
potato
everything from running together.
That's right. Sweet potato pie is in one section, or casserole. Rolls in another, turkey in another, dressing in another, green bean casserole, and in the middle there's a circle, and that's where the gravy is.
That way you can dip everything in the gravy.
You can dip everything in the gravy, and none of your food is touching. And my sister is one of those people who cannot stand for her food be touching on the plate.
Really?
That's right.
I was like that growing up for a while. And my grandfather would always say, boy, it's all going to the same place anyway.
It's so true. What is the point? I mean.
And you know what I've been thinking about for the last day and a half? Huh. I cannot get it out of my mind. If they don't do something, they're going to score.
Something don't happen. That's what he said. They're going to score if something don't happen.
That's been in my mind since yesterday at this time.
Oh, yeah. He'd say that. I don't understand all I know about that. And I understand this. According to the Twitters, Alabama and LSU will not be played this weekend. Everybody tweeting it. Everybody out here tweeting about it. Sources say LSU and Alabama is postponed per SEC COVID testing protocol to be determined on the schedule. It should be noted that LSU football was and is fighting hard to play, even with depleted numbers. Yeah, right.
So that means there's only one SEC game this weekend.
Yeah, but is that Texas A&M Tennessee?
Let me look back.
Well, see, no, it's not only one. Here's what I think is as of the moment.
Florida and Kentucky?
Well,
gosh, no, that's not even the right.
It's Florida, Arkansas. Here's what you've got this weekend, JB. All right, here's what you got.
All right, yeah, here we go.
Mississippi State, Auburn, canceled, postponed. Alabama, LSU, canceled, postponed. Tennessee A&M in serious danger of being postponed, according to Twitter. And when you see that, guess what comes next? Postponed. Yeah. And Ole Miss, South Carolina is good to go. We hadn't heard a peep out of either one.
Georgia, Missouri still good?
Nope. PowerMizzou.com. COVID has hit the SEC hard this week, and Mizzou is now feeling the impact. The latest on what's happening and how it impacts this weekend's game. Add Missouri to the SEC's COVID week.
All right, so no Missouri, Georgia.
Missouri's game.
A&M.
Well, I don't think it's. Hold on. I don't think it's official. I think we need to put Missouri, Georgia in the same category as A&M, Tennessee, in that they're going. It's in danger. Here's what it says. Yeah, PowerMizzou.com. This is Rivals website. Missouri's game against Georgia is scheduled for Saturday at 11 a.m. in Columbia is still a go. ... For now, but the Tigers are working through COVID-19 issues this afternoon, meaning today, that could change that. A source told PowerMizzou.com that the Tigers are going through contact tracing and assessing the numbers on the roster Tuesday afternoon. That's today. Eli Drinkwitz supposed to address the media at noon. He's already done it, or supposed to have already done it, but they pushed it back to 5:15 Eastern time. So, JB, that's what I'm saying is you've got those two that are up in the air.
Right. Well, so you got possibility of only having 3 games in South Carolina, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Florida, and then Vandy, Kentucky.
Right.
If Georgia, Mizzou doesn't play, if Texas A&M, Tennessee, we already know Auburn State and Alabama and LSU are done.
Yeah. What did that link you sent me say about what CBS would do?
Okay, I still got it up. Hang on.
Okay, because
they just said if the Alabama-LSU game might be up in the air due to a COVID-19 outbreak. So since that is canceled, I imagine that CBS will try to fill that with another game.
Another game. I just wonder what game it would be.
6 to 10.
You know, I was saying they couldn't go pull from the SEC's ESPN schedule, but you know what? I guarantee that, you know what ESPN would do? Hey, y'all can have Vandy in Kentucky. Y'all want that one? Well, hold on. Let us think. No. Do you want it or not? Tell me now. You got 5 seconds to make a decision. Yeah, we'll take. Okay. Good luck. Vandy, Kentucky on CBS, 5 p.m. prime time after the Masters.
Yeah, because you got Georgia and Missouri set to play at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Mm-hmm. And then your next game is Vandy and Kentucky at 11 also on the SEC Network.
Yeah.
Only other games I see, really nothing available other.
There's nothing available.
Yeah, other than the Alabama LSU game.
You know what they should do?
And they can't do that.
Maybe they should just go live.
Well, you do have Arkansas at Florida at 6 p.m. on ESPN, so I wonder if the contract stipulates if CBS can't get it, they can take that game from ESPN.
Look, all they got to do is go live at 5 o'clock with Gary Danielson interviewing Nick Saban for 3 hours. That's all they got to do. Hey,
That's
Coach.
like Jake Saturday morning on the Tailgate Show. They wanted to do an over-under on how many times Gary Danielson would talk about Alabama during another game.
I swear to you, heard it with my own ears and felt compelled to tweet about it. I think it was last year's Iron Bowl. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa. All right? There is a play where the Alabama player blew up targeting an Auburn player. Blew him up targeting. Flags coming from everywhere. All of them threw their flags. Immediately we know what it is. Auburn player, JB, is lying lifeless on the turf. I'm talking about within a second and a half, Bryant Denny has gone silent because it's like, oh my gosh, he killed him. And you know what Gary Danielson said on the broadcast? You know what he said?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh my gosh, this is potentially huge because if this is targeting, they're going to eject this guy for Alabama and he won't be able to play next week in the championship game. Now, first of all, it's the first half. It ain't a given they're going to be in the championship game yet. Secondly, when there is a dead body on the field, I don't want the first thing out of your mouth to be how this impacts Nick Saban's football team next week in Atlanta. It was a complete and utter just don't even have any kind of grasp on the reality of the situation as it stands right now moment. And far be it for me to criticize. Don't you agree with me? Yo? Yeah, you do.
I'm definitely there with you, man. I'm definitely.
I'm talking about. He's going to miss the championship game. Hey, why don't you save that until after they have resuscitated the guy he hit? All right. Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. The appearance of being balanced. Somebody says, really stuck out to me. I'm concerned that Leach's offense doesn't have the appearance of being balanced. Boy, howdy. No, it doesn't. If that's a requirement, that's kind of a non-starter. Who's in that? Darren says, Matt, I'm having a perfect day. Had coffee on the patio. I'm just going to assume, Darren, that it's coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany. I just got a new shipment, and I'm sipping on it right now as we speak. You hear that? He had coffee on the patio with biscuits and Country Pleasing. Black pepper sausage. Ooh, yes, yes. Went fishing for a couple of hours and put the catfish in a freezer. Come on with it. Now heading to Country Meat Packers to get stuffed pork chops for dinner. Hope you're having the same kind of day.
Need to find out where Darren lives. I want to come hang with him.
Have yourself a day. Man, that's the real deal right there. Thanks for the text. Got me looking forward to supper. Unnamed texter says, Matt, to avoid COVID issues during the playoffs, the local high school football team here. Oh, we're in a break. All right.
Yeah, we got to go.
We got
a good day.
All right. See y'all tomorrow.
First-time home buyers. She is the agent you can